Hello and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we have a very special mission. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see it right there on the screen. We're tackling a presentation called AI Promised to Reduce Work. New research says, LOL, nope.
It's a great title, isn't it? It just, cuts right through all the noise we've been hearing.
It really does. And I mean, look at that subtitle on the first slide. Spoiler alert, the robots aren't replacing us. They're just making us work harder. It feels like the most honest thing I've read all year.
We were all promised that 4-day work week. Do you remember that?
I do. The headlines in, 2023, 2024, they were basically guaranteeing it. Robots do the grunt work, humans do the creative stuff, and we all, clock in at 2 p.m. on a Thursday.
Right.
But here we are. It's February 17, 2026. And I look at my calendar, I look at my team Slack, and nobody is going home early. If anything, those little green dots are active later than ever.
Exactly. And that's why this deep dive is so important. We're going to walk through this presentation slide by slide to really unpack this new UC Berkeley study that proves we've been, maybe misled.
Misled is being generous. So for everyone on YouTube, keep your eyes on the screen. The visuals here are key. For our audio listeners, don't worry, we'll walk you through everything. Let's jump to slide 2. The fairy tale.
Ah, yes. The glorious promise.
This just takes me back. Look at this. Remember when AI was going to automate all the boring stuff? Draft documents, summarize reports, debug code. I mean, the pitch was literally that we'd all be sipping lattes while robots did the grunt work.
That was the entire narrative. And if you look at the bottom there, it nails the corporate motivation. Maximum productivity, minimum employee burden. It was sold as a total win-win.
The company makes more, the employee works less. It sounded, magical?
Magical is the word. But they bought these tools thinking they were like calculators. You do math faster, you finish sooner.
But AI isn't a calculator.
No. A calculator has a finite output. AI has infinite output. And that right there is the trap.
Which brings us perfectly to the crash landing on slide 3. The reality check. UC Berkeley ruins everything.
I love that title. But jokes aside, this is where we get to the real data. This isn't just feelings, this is a proper study.
Okay, so walk us through the specs here.
So as you can see, they tracked 200 employees at a U.S. tech company, which is a pretty decent sample size. But the key thing really is the duration. 8 months.
And why is the 8 months so important?
Because all those early studies back in 2023, 2024, they were just snapshots. They'd give someone ChatGPT for an hour, see they wrote an email faster, and, declare victory.
Right.
This study tracks what happens after the novelty wear off, when the tool is just another part of the grind.
And the venue is legit.
Oh, yeah. Harvard Business Review, just this month. So this is fresh. It's peer-reviewed.
What's the punchline, as the slide calls it?
Well, you can read it right there. It's pretty blunt.
AI didn't reduce work. It consistently intensified it. Oops. And that quote at the bottom.
Oh.
We expected liberation. We got more work. Thanks, robots.
Wow. It hits hard. And intensified is the key word.
Yep.
Didn't just add more hours. It made the hours we do work denser.
Denser. What does that mean in this context?
Well, think of your workday like a sponge. Before, that sponge had holes in it, right? Little moments of waiting for a file to upload or for a colleague to reply.
All right.
AI came along and just squeezed the sponge. It filled every tiny gap with a task. So you're not just working 9 to 5, you're working a denser 9 to 5 with zero downtime.
That just sounds absolutely exhausting.
It's cognitively unsustainable. Which brings us right to slide 4. This one's my favorite, how AI actually helps. A comedy in 3 acts.
It's a dark comedy for sure. So,
Yeah.
Act 1, expand your incompetence.
Right?
Employees took on tasks outside their expertise. I feel this in my soul. Why hire specialists when AI makes everyone a jack of all trades and master of none?
This is a huge shift. You used to stay in your lane. If you were in marketing, you didn't write code. If you were a coder, you didn't design graphics.
Right. I'd email a designer and wait 2 days for a graphic.
Exactly. But AI lowered the barrier to entry for everything. So now your boss says, hey, just ask the AI to write that Python script. You can, sort of, but you don't really know Python.
So instead of doing the one thing I'm good at, I'm doing 5 things I'm mediocre at. And spending hours debugging code I don't even understand.
Precisely. You're doing 5 jobs badly instead of 1 job well, which leads directly into Act 2. Multitask, like your life depends on it.
AI made starting tasks so easy, people began juggling more projects simultaneously. Productivity theater at its finest.
It's the open loop problem. Before AI, starting a project had friction. You had to stare at a blank page. That friction was a natural gatekeeper. It stopped you from starting 10 things at once.
But now I can generate 10 outlines in 10 minutes. The friction is gone.
It's completely gone. The barrier to starting is zero, but the effort to finish is still high. You still have to edit and verify and refine. So now you have 10 open projects, 10 tabs open, just constantly context switching.
And that's a killer for actual focus.
It's lethal. Every time you switch, your brain has what's called attention residue. You're basically running on 20% brain power all day.
It feels like you're just running around putting out fires.
Yeah.
Then Act 3, this one hurts. Work around the clock.
Breaks, after hours, those are now work opportunities.
AI doesn't sleep, so why should you? That is terrifying.
It's the erasure of waiting. Waiting used to be our only break. You'd send a request to the legal team, you'd wait a day or two.
I loved those waits.
Yeah.
That was my coffee break. That was my walk around the office time.
That was essential recovery time. Now the legal team is just an agent in your software. It replies instantly. The ball is always in your court.
Wow. The ball's always in my court. I can never put the racket down.
And that's why we're seeing the burnout numbers in slide 5. Employee testimonials, a Greek chorus of despair.
Let's look at this quote from the anonymous tech worker. It's like having a personal trainer who never lets you rest.
Think about that analogy. When you lift weights, the muscle grows during the rest. If a trainer just hands you another dumbbell the second you put one down for 8 hours straight, you don't get stronger, you get injured.
And we are injuring our brains.
We are. And then you have the expert on the right side of the slide, a clinical social worker. She calls it a one-way ticket to burnout city. Population, you.
It's the loss of white space. You know, the slide mentions the loss of connection and recharge time. That downtime is where the good ideas actually happen.
And that's the paradox, isn't it? Loss of interpersonal connection destroys long-term productivity. But hey, Q3 numbers look great.
That is the quarterly trap.
Yeah.
Short term, you squeeze the sponge and get more water. Long term, the sponge is dry and brittle.
And brittle things break, which takes us to slide 6, the hidden costs of our AI overlords.
Let's break these down. First, the implicit pressure cooker.
This is the unspoken stuff. When AI tools are available, there's an unspoken expectation to use them constantly.
So your calendar is now 100% full. Congratulations.
It's the "why aren't you done yet" factor. If your boss knows an AI can draft something in 30 seconds, they expect the final report in 5 minutes. There's no accounting for the human part, the fact-checking, the editing.
And then the second point, breaks are for quitters.
Yeah.
This one's just sad. Those spontaneous water cooler chats, sacrificed at the altar of efficiency.
We used to joke about water cooler talk, but sociologically, that's where trust is built. It's where ideas cross-pollinate. If everyone's just glued to their screen, you lose the human fabric of the company.
It's the glue. You're right.
Yeah.
And finally, burnout is a business model. It's like running faster on a treadmill that keeps speeding up.
This just creates cynicism. When people realize that being more efficient is punished with more work, they stop trying.
That's a great point. If I save 2 hours with a tool and my boss just gives me 2 more hours of work, what's my incentive?
There is none. You start to see what's called performative busyness.
Yeah.
Just generating a ton of low-quality AI stuff to look busy. It's a vicious cycle.
Okay, so for everyone on YouTube, lean in close for this next one. Slide 7, the data visualization, the graph.
This graph is basically the whole study in one image. You've got 2 bars for everything, with AI in that dark shade and without AI in the lighter yellow.
Okay, let's go through it. First set of bars, output.
Right. Output is higher with AI. No surprise there. We knew that.
But then look at task scope. The with AI bar is massive. It's got to be twice as tall.
That's the expand your incompetence we
Yeah.
talked about. The scope of what one person is responsible for has just exploded. The cognitive load has basically doubled.
And work hours. It's higher with AI. So much for that 4-day week.
It's gone. We just filled the save time with more tasks.
And the saddest bar on the chart, employee sanity.
It's just a sliver. It's drastically lower with AI.
And on the right, these stats. Gartner reports only 1 in 5 AI investments yield measurable ROI. Wait, how is that possible? If output is up, why is ROI down?
Because more isn't better.
Quality versus quantity.
Exactly. If you use AI to send 10,000 bad sales emails instead of 1,000 good ones, you haven't increased revenue. You've just annoyed more people. We've just scaled mediocrity.
Translation, more people doing more shallow work with less expertise. That sums up the last 3 years perfectly.
And you see the economic forecast below it. AI will augment jobs, not replace them. Augment used to sound good, like you were getting a bionic arm.
Now, augment just means they're strapping more luggage to your back.
Pretty much. So is there a solution? Let's look at slide 8. What this means for organizations if they care. I love that parenthetical.
If they care. It's so cynical, but so real. Okay, first point, rethink metrics.
This is the hardest one because companies love things they can count. Lines of code, emails sent, and AI can inflate all those metrics.
So what do you measure instead?
Impact, outcomes. You have to measure the things AI can't fake. Like, did we actually make customers happier? Did we retain our best employees?
Number 2, protect downtime.
Companies have to artificially reintroduce friction into the system.
What does that even look like?
It looks like no meeting Fridays. It looks like shutting down the email server after 6 p.m. It means if you use AI to finish a task in 2 hours instead of 4, you actually get to keep those 2 hours as a break.
That is a radical idea. And third, balance the equation.
This is pure Jevons paradox.
Okay, break that down for us.
It's an old economic theory. William Jevons noticed that when steam engines got more efficient with coal, we didn't use less coal, we used more coal because it became cheaper to burn.
Oh, wow. That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
AI made work cheaper to produce, so we're just consuming way more of it.
Exactly. And the only way to break that paradox is with regulation. In this case, internal company rules that say, stop burning the people just because the tasks are easy to start.
But will they do it? Let's go to slide 9. Wishful thinking. Or as the subtitle says, sure yan.
Sure, yeah. Says it all, really.
The dream scenario. What if we used AI to augment human capability without accelerating work to unsustainable levels? It sounds so reasonable.
What if we created cultures that value recharge time? Revolutionary, right?
Then you get to the spoiler box at the bottom.
And it just lays it out. This requires intentional design and saying no to endless expansion. Most companies won't do it.
Saying no to endless expansion, that's the real sticking point, isn't it? It feels so countercultural to how businesses are run.
It is the core conflict. If your competitor is running at 100 miles an hour and you decide to run at 60 to save your team's sanity, in the short term, it looks like you're losing.
But long term, the car running at 100 miles an hour crashes and burns.
That's the bet. But CEOs are paid on quarterly results, not 5-year bets. The incentives are all aligned with the burnout model.
Which brings us to the end. Slide 10. Conclusion, welcome to the future of more. AI's promise to reduce work. Not guaranteed.
Yeah.
It can, and often does, intensify it instead.
And the challenge is that organizations have to manage this, even though, as the slide says, they probably won't.
And the stakes.
Mm-hmm.
The future of work depends on balancing innovation with human sustainability. No pressure.
It's a huge deal. If we burn out the entire workforce, the innovation just stops. You can't prompt your way out of a collective mental health crisis.
The final text on this slide is just, it's a mic drop. AI didn't replace us. It made us better at being overwhelmed. Progress.
That word progress is just dripping with sarcasm. But based on this data, it rings true.
It really does. You know, going through this, seeing that Berkeley data, it just validates a feeling that I think so many of us have had. We're not crazy for feeling busier than ever.
You're not crazy. The system changed around you. The tools uncorked the bottle on the sheer volume of work.
So for everyone watching and listening, what's the takeaway? What do we do now?
Well, step 1 is just awareness. Recognizing that the feeling of being overwhelmed isn't a personal failure, it's a systemic issue.
And I want to leave everyone with a challenge. Just right now, open your calendar, look at next week.
It's probably a solid wall of meetings.
Yeah. Look for the gaps. Has AI actually freed up any of your time? Or did you just use that efficiency to say yes to 3 more things?
And if it's all filled, just ask yourself, how can I reclaim 1 hour? Just one. Because in this world that never sleeps, you're the only one who can protect your own downtime.
The robots are certainly not going to do it for you.
They definitely are not.
Thanks for diving in with us today, and thanks to the YouTube crew for following along with the slides. We'll see you on the next deep dive.
Take care, everyone.